Okay, time to start looking at the different modes that you can use to actually do this, to actually put together your video. And I'm going to show you a couple of options, some of which you've already used at one time or another, others that you probably have never used, and just to give you an idea of what you have available to you, okay? The first thing I want to show you is an old standby, and it's an old standby because in a lot of cases people don't choose it. They think it's boring, they think it's old style, that it's old school, that kind of thing. And what that thing is, Office PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint as it stands is still a really good presentation machine. Okay, let me just kill off this other stuff here so we can get into what we're looking at. It still is a very good presentation system. The problem with PowerPoint is many people don't know how it works or what to do with it. Because what PowerPoint looks like right off the top is just a bunch of white sheets. If I just write some stuff down here, like where it says click to add, title, and that kind of stuff, that's all I have to really do. But PowerPoint has the ability to be very dynamic in its presentation. For instance, you can insert videos. Okay, different types of clip art, photo albums. You can do all kinds of smart art with it. You can work with different types of word art and movies and sound clips, as I mentioned before. But not only that, it will also give you some animation choices too. If you want to animate something, like a transition from slide to slide, you can. Okay, just like it's showing on the screen here. Okay, you can do that kind of thing. You can have it go back and forth through a dissolve. You can do different types of movements. Okay. Not only that, you can use the custom animation feature to actually play with how things come in and go out of your PowerPoint. You can change their entrances, their emphasis, the exits, motion paths of the things you move in, so you can have pictures moving in all kinds of different ways, or words coming in all kinds of different ways. There could be transitions, sounds, transition. You could change the speeds of the transitions. And more importantly, you can actually record a PowerPoint along with a voice track or a sound track. So it works all by itself. Okay? So the slideshow is self-running. That takes a little bit of timing and a little bit of knowledge, so it's something you might want to practice with. If this is the kind of thing you want to do, then let me know and we'll go through your options with it. But PowerPoint still should be one of your number one potential choices for putting on this presentation. Okay? The thing that's sort of taken over for PowerPoint over the last little while for kids in school anyway are Prezis. Now, a lot of people choose Prezis because Prezis have... they've got a dynamism that you don't see anywhere else. They're a very dynamic way of showing information, and the reason is they tend to use a lot of motion. They have a 3D feel for it, okay, because they have a depth and they have an ability to move around through. You can embed sound. You can embed all kinds of video as well. Here's how it basically looks, and as you go from things to things, like if I'm going to click on this thing way in the back here, I can go right up to it, and it has that feeling of flying into it, right? Again. People like it because it's dynamic, but you could do the same thing with PowerPoint. It's whatever you are a little more comfortable with. The other thing that Prezi is offering now are 3D templates that are really kind of fun to use, so you might want to experiment with that a little bit too. Okay? So coming out of that, let's go over a couple of things that you may not have considered in the past. For instance, we talked about Powtoons in class. Okay? The thing about Powtoons is it is sort of the best thing. It's a good sort of middle ground between making a video and making a presentation. It's not as difficult to make a video here as it would be to say on one of the other things that we're going to show you, like Movie Maker, because all the elements are right there. It's just a case of using it. But Powtoons is still just a presentation model. Okay, you're still putting in some things that are very, stand still, and you have some other things that move a little bit. The nice thing about Powtoons, though, is that you've got this really good graphical interface. On the right-hand side, all the styles you can choose from, of the various things that you can choose as animated characters, for instance. So if I want to choose an animated character that will run for me on my screen, I can just put him in there, and there he is. Okay. And I can add, balloons, for him to talk and all that other kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff is kind of cool. The other stuff that's kind of cool is the way that you actually drop in pictures. You basically just drop them in with URLs. Although you can also do things from your own hard drive, and you have options of how to save it. You have a preview section. You can export directly to YouTube, and you can make it an HD file. Although as a free member, you can't save the program. Save the presentations as individual files. You can't download them. But being able to put them to YouTube is just as good. Now, You have a lot to choose from in terms of animation here, okay? Like you've got this cute little dude, you got these little sort of paper guys, you've got these hand gestures that you can do too. There's a whole bunch of things you can choose from. The only drawback to doing this is it does take time. To add all these little pictures and everything else, you have to be willing to put the time into it. But what you get out of it is a pretty good presentation, if you ask me, okay? So going from Powtoons, the next step really is to actually making your own movie. And one of the reasons why I was considering talking to you about making your own movie is because lots of you have already done this. This is Movie Maker. This is Microsoft's Movie Maker. It comes directly with the Windows program. I've taken a couple of videos here that I've collected elsewhere and can.
We have three different power systems for our homestead here at the Center for Sustainability.
I can have them cut into other movies and pictures. For instance, this is a picture that I have of the space shuttle. If I want to have it go from that
fuel that's made from crop residues
into the
picture, it could be fuel that's made from the cooking oil at a fast food restaurant.
Right, really fast and tight, and then it comes up to the next one, which goes right into the next video, which is here, okay? Or I can actually play with the transitions that go between them. And to do that is all in the animations and the visual effects and playing with the project. So if you've worked with this before, it's great. If you haven't, it's going to take a little bit of time to learn how to use it before you move on to doing that. The last option is to do a live video and go straight to video itself. And there's a really good option for that won't take you that much time. I'm just going to try to find it here because I think I've got it. Yeah, there we go. That won't take you too much time, but it might be something you might want to consider. It's become very popular to take a whiteboard. This is one actually on the flipped classroom. To take a whiteboard and do video like this. Just have someone drawing it while another voice comes up with the information.
These classrooms generally look the same. 30 students sit in rows of desks.
And as this is going through, you've got someone narrating what's happening.
Stands at a whiteboard.
It works really well. You have to be a pretty good artist to be able to do it. The only problem is if you're not a good artist, it looks like everything's a thumb, so it doesn't really work for you. Okay? So those are a few options. There are other ones like I've mentioned like I'm going to mention when you first come in, like pitch strips, like Go Animate, that kind of stuff. But if these things work for you, go ahead and try it out. Who knows? You might become the next.
At the end of the day, the same students head home.
Just by trying out these different ways of making videos.
And trying to remember what Miss Jackson said. Students like Tommy make it